Hello everyone, my name is Keely. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome to episode 2 of reading new release vampire books, where I am reading 4 more new vampire books in this video. If you missed episode 1, I will leave it linked down below. It was very successful, so I highly recommend going to watch episode 1 of reading new vampire books so you can see which ones are worth reading. So we're gonna make this intro short and sweet. I'm gonna go through the books I'm gonna read very quickly. The first one I have here is Immortal Dark by Temptest of Tea. This one is so beautiful and it's set in an academy. The next one I have is So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. This is a vampire horror novel. Next we have Lucy Undying by Kiersten White. This is a Dracula retelling, which sounds really good, even though I've never read Dracula. And then the last one I have is A Temptest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal, and this is a vampire heist novel. Of course, I'm looking forward to all these books because I love anything with vampires. I will forever be a vampire girly, but those are the books I have planned for this video, so let's just get on into it. How creepy would it be if we just like saw someone coming down these stairs? Anyway, I'm here with my first update for you because I have started reading Lucy Undying, and I wish I had time to update you sooner because I'm already halfway through. I'm on page 224, and so normally I would have updated you sooner, but we're here and we're gonna deal with it. And actually, it's probably pretty good that I waited because this is difficult to explain. So I'm gonna try to give you a synopsis that makes sense, so buckle in, bear with me. So we follow 2 characters in here. We get multiple point of views. We have Iris and we have Lucy. So let's talk about Iris first. So Iris is an American girl who is coming over to London to deal with her mother's estates. Her mother just passed away, and she is also trying to escape this company, this cult-like world that her mother has built. They are very famous people, but it is a very dark and, oh my gosh. That was, oh my gosh, my heart stopped. Hold on, let me let the dog out. Hold on. Okay, the dog's decided to stay inside, so if you hear a noise, that's what it is. But anyway, Iris is trying to escape this cult-like empire that her mother has built, and they are kind of chasing her all over the world, and so she is trying to make it look like she's just trying to settle the estates and do what her mom always wanted, but of course, that's not what she wants. She is trying to escape. So we follow her, and along the way, she meets Lucy. Now, Lucy is a vampire, and centuries ago, she was made by Dracula himself. So we follow Lucy through the centuries as she is trying to essentially escape Dracula. So we get so many different chapters. These are very short and quick chapters. So like I said, we follow Iris in present day. So we see her point of view. Then we see Lucy's point of view as she is telling someone her story. So those chapters are titled like transcripts. So it seems like it's Lucy like in therapy, basically telling someone her entire story. Then we also see Lucy's point of view from the 1800s as she is traveling the world, meeting different people that were created from Dracula, meeting Dracula's brides, things like that. And then we also get, a point of view because Iris in these houses has discovered Lucy's diary. So she is reading Lucy's diary, and as she is discovering it, so are we. The thing is though, Iris has no idea that she has met Lucy. So we have 2 different people who are essentially trying to escape these horrible lives that they lived. The Dracula stuff is really interesting because, like I said, as we're going through the centuries, we're meeting people like on battlefields in different countries, in Istanbul, in London, things like that, who have been turned and hurt by Dracula, just like Lucy was. And Lucy, as the centuries are going along, is trying to discover herself and what happened to her and why she is the way she is. So as that's going on, Iris and Lucy are starting to develop this friendship that is turning romantic. So hopefully you follow that along really well. I am actually really enjoying this. I will say the writing is beautiful, and if you know me, you know that I don't like beautiful writing, but I think that I am okay with how this is written. Like, some of the lines hurt my heart, and so like I feel that. So if you like beautiful writing, you might want to check this out because this might be the book for you. This book also really reminds me of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, because in both books, we are following somebody through centuries and we see the people they meet, the travels they get to, the countries they visit, and how they get to certain places and see how they got to where they are today. However, I hated Addie LaRue, but I am enjoying this one, and maybe it's because the vampire aspect is more interesting, and Iris is also a more interesting character because she is running away from a cult, and we are also discovering more and more of that cult and what exactly it means, what's going on, while at the same time, both of these characters feel like they're being hunted, and so you're kind of on the edge of your seat wondering if they're ever going to be caught, if something bad is ever going to happen to them. And it's also interesting because Iris is going to these estates in London, and some of them are creepy, spooky, and haven't been touched in over 100 years. So the vibes, the atmosphere, the characters, it's all going really great. When I first started this book, I honestly was like, maybe I should put this down. I'm not really sure. I don't think this is gonna be a 5 stars. I mean, anything can happen. I don't think it's gonna be a 5 stars. It is a little slow and meandering at times. This is a big book. It's almost 450 pages, something like that. So it is a bit of a bigger book. And the interesting thing is too, I am currently reading Dracula for the first time. I know, Vampirekeeley, and I've never read Dracula. I hate classics, but I'm reading it for the first time and then reading this book that is a Dracula novel. So it's kind of interesting to see the different characters that are mentioned, and I'm like, oh, I know what happens to you. But yes, so I'm having a good time with this. It is just slower to get through. It is Monday today. It's about 7:30 a.m. I'm getting my nails done at 9 a.m. I just recently, like within the last month or two, became a nail girl, so I'm trying out something new. I don't even know all the vocab and what I'm supposed to tell her, so that's kind of nerve-wracking, but I'm hoping to get some like spooky nails, so I'm gonna do that. This is also like the first time I've ever been to this girl, found her on Instagram, so hopefully everything goes well. But other than that, I don't work today, so after I get my nails done, I will come back and hopefully read as much of this as I can. I was hoping to finish it this weekend before I went back to work, but I'm halfway through, I have this much left, and I just don't think I'm going to finish that today because I am like not speeding through this book, but we'll see. The rest of the week, Tuesday through Friday, I work 12 to 10 p.m. so I have my mornings to myself again. So if I don't finish this today, hopefully tomorrow morning, but we will see. But for now, this update's been long. I hope you understand this book. It's interesting, I'm intriguing, and I haven't read anything like it before, so that's fun. But I will let you go. See you later. I'm gonna eat breakfast and get my nails done, and I'll show you what they look like. Hopefully they come out good. It has been a 24 hours, let me tell you. Yesterday, I got in my car to go to work, and my sensor said, your tire has 0 pressure. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go to work, but my tire's flat. But then I looked at all my tires and none of them looked flat. I even texted my dad a picture and was like, does this look flat to you? And he was like, no, that looks fine. I was like, okay, so I guess it's good to drive on. I have to go to work. So I go to work, you know, we're doing our things, and then we leave early because I work for an airline, and the hurricanes in Florida is causing like chaos in the airline industry, obviously, as well as in many other places. And so my trainer is very, very high up, and so he had a lot of things to do. So we got out 5 hours early, which fantastic. We love getting off early from work. I get to my car, my tire completely flat. It looked like somebody slashed my tire because in the morning you couldn't even tell, and then when I got out of work it was so flat, and then I found a giant screw in my nail. So I had to call my manager, and he came down, and I felt so bad because I was like, he has so much to do, but he was so nice. He helped blow up my tire so I could drive home. And the cutest thing was, there are 7 people in my training class right now, and all of these people came and stayed with me until my car was drivable. I was like, dude, we got off 5 hours early. I know y'all are so excited to go home, but they stayed and waited with me, and I even told them y'all can leave, and they're like, no, we're gonna wait until this is done. I could cry. That was so sweet. And one of the guys, he is like the dad in our group because he is a lot older than us, and he gave me his like portable inflator so I could take it in my car in case I needed to like pull over or anything. So sweet. So of course all the tire places were closed last night, so this morning I got up, I went right at 8, and the tire is fixed free of charge. So that's been my 24 hours. But other than that, I still managed to finish Lucy Undying, and I am eating my words because is this my favorite book like ever? Oh, I love this so much. It's so funny how at the beginning of this book, I was like, this is so boring and slow. And by the end of it, I said, is this my favorite book? Like, what is going on? First and foremost, the writing was beautiful. I do not love beautiful writing, and so I think this was a nice way to have beautiful and simple writing at the same time, because it would be simple, but then every so often there would be lines in this book that just like pierced me in the heart and twisted the knife, and I loved it. I really want to reread this and annotate because some of the lines just like hit you so hard. And Lucy and Iris are also fantastic characters. I really love following them both, and honestly seeing them both finally get the happiness that they deserve and to get out of their terrible situations. I also think this was an interesting take on vampirism added with a cult, because the cult we get to find out so much more in the second half. So I feel like this is kind of split into two halves. The first half is finding out more about Lucy and Dracula and her ties to him and how vampires work here and all of those things, and meeting vampires through the centuries. And then the second half of the book is finding about Iris and how she is connected to this cult, what this cult is, how it runs, and what these people believe, and how we can take down this cult, and how Lucy and Iris can finally escape from these people that have been holding them captive for so long. It is so good. I thought this was so fascinating and unique. I love the way it ended. I love the vampires in here. And I told you I was currently reading Dracula for the first time, and that added to my experience so much, because as I was reading Dracula and characters would pop up and I didn't know, like after I read them, that they were characters from Dracula, and I was like, oh, I know who you are, oh my gosh. And it was just so good. I love the storytelling of this as well, because we do get both Lucy's point of view and Iris's point of view, and then we do get client transcripts from therapy, and then we also get diary entries. So it makes it so captivating because you're constantly reading almost like a different storytelling or a different way of telling a story. Those are the same things, but I thought both POVs were very interesting to follow. I love seeing Lucy through the centuries, and the different vampires we meet are all so unique and so cool, and I just loved it so much. This might be the best vampire book I've ever read. I love it. 5 stars, and I'm glad I love this because this cover is absolutely stunning. I just think it is so beautiful, and I'm just so pleased that I love this because it is a chunkier book. And at the beginning, honestly, like 20 pages in, I was like, am I gonna DNF this? No girl, hang in there, because this is now like one of your top books. Absolutely loved it. So now after that, time to pick up my next book, and I'm gonna pick up A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faizal, because this is my next library book on this list, and I need to get through my library books so I can return them. But this one is, I think, like a heist novel, and I don't like heist novels, so we'll see how that goes. But I haven't read anything from this author. I've heard fantastic things, so I hope that I get on really well with her writing. We shall see. But as for right now, it is 10 a.m. I go into work at 12. Pending hurricane news, we'll see what happens. Things can change. But I have some things that I need to read for work, and then I am just gonna chill and read until I need to go. So I will probably see you when I'm 100 or so pages into A Temptest of Tea. Who knows? I always say I'm gonna update you at 100 pages, and then it never ends up being 100 pages, but we'll see. But so far, this vlog is such a success. I hope I didn't just jinx myself. Okay, I'm really tired, and it's been a while since I've updated this vlog because I have full force started my job, and I just finished 4 shifts of 2 p.m. to midnight. I'm not used to staying up till midnight, so I'm tired, but I'm here because I have some updates for you. Not good ones. So I started A Temptest of Tea by Hafsa Faizal, and I've already returned it to the library because I DNF'd it at 50 pages. So I mentioned that this is a heist novel, and I just don't like heist novels. I don't care. I don't like the characters, and I was reading the words, but I was not digesting anything that was happening, and so I just wasn't interested. This is kind of set in a world where vampires exist, and we follow this ragtag group of characters, of course, and they run this tea house, and at night it becomes a blood house, which is actually illegal, and people know about it, but the police people, the military, whoever they are, they can't actually prove that that's what's happening, so they keep trying to expose them, but these criminals are like really, really good at what they do. That's as far as I got. I don't care. I DNF'd it, which, you know, I do care about like DNFing vampire books. I want to love every vampire book, but unfortunately DNF for that. And then I started this morning so thirsty, so I have today and tomorrow off, so I'm trying to read as much as I can. So I started this morning, and I am on page 70. So it seems like we follow this woman who is in a really bad marriage. Her husband cheats on her constantly, and he has sent her away for her birthday. He planned this extravagant birthday trip with her and her best friend. So her and her best friend are there. It's kind of like this cute little quaint, like mountainside snowy town. That's how it's described. And they end up meeting this mysterious, beautiful, attractive man that has a hint of a accent. I'm assuming he's a vampire. They go back to this house and they meet these group of very elusive, mysterious people. I'm DNFing this. Oh, okay. So I hate the characters. I hate them. They're insufferable. They're annoying. All they talk about is, or at least the best friend, all she talks about is partying and drugs and sleeping around and cheating on her significant other, and I'm just not into it. I'm not reading that. So I'm really sad because I love this cover. This is one of my first Aardvark book box picks. It is a signed book and a vampire book. So I'm very sad about that. But at my wise years of 28 years of age, I have discovered I don't have time for bad books. So that means we have one more book for this vlog. We have suddenly arrived at the end of this video. So let me go grab that book and hopefully it's a good one. So the last book I have for this video is Immortal Dark by Temptest Gurma. I have seen more things about this one, and the things I have seen have been relatively good. This is a beautiful book. It is kind of big, so I'm kind of scared because I want to read as much as I can. Actually, this is only like just over 400 pages. Why does it look so much bigger than that? But I'm gonna go sit down and probably start this book. I don't know really much about it. I think it's set at an academy. It just says a lost heiress, a soulless vampire, a secret drenched in blood. And like this inside, yes. And then the edges here say no soul can enter without an invitation. So I'm hoping it's a good one because I need a good one. We started out with a fantastic one, then we've had 2 duds. So we need to end on a good one, especially because I don't have as much time to read as I used to because I was off for like 4 months. But I'm trying to read as much as I can. So let's get it done. Hi friends. Okay, don't be mad at me. I'm DNFing Immortal Dark. I made it 100 pages into this book, so I really gave it the old college try, and I just can't do it anymore. I started feeling really slumpy and I was like, I do not have time to read bad books, so I put it down. But I am still gonna keep this book, so if you can convince me to like continue going, then maybe I will. Like if you read this and you liked it, let me know. But first, let me tell you what this is about. So we follow this girl whose sister has been kidnapped, and she is convinced that a vampire took her sister. And so in order to kind of expose this vampire and go rescue her sister, she enrolls in this very prestigious academy where there's humans and vampires. And honestly, one of my biggest gripes about this book was the world building. I hate world building, so I'm like not a good person to critique world building for. Like, I don't know if it's good or bad. I just know that I hate it. I really like simple explanations, and I do not like deep dives into world building, and that's why I tend to not like fantasy, is because I just could not care less about world building. And the main girl in this book is insufferable. I just really, really did not like her, so I didn't want to keep following along with her. So ultimately, DNF, I was just not having a good time. The chapters are short, and this copy is so beautiful and so stunning, so that was good. The academy, you know, kind of interesting. We were meeting some mysterious characters, which was fun, but at the end of the day, hated the main character, and the world building was confusing, and I hated it. So third DNF for this video. Out of the 4 books I had planned, I DNF'd 3 of them. So ultimately, the only book I recommend from this video is Undying. However, I have since seen so many negative reviews about this book. So once again, we're just proving the hypothesis that I disagree with BookTube. So take my opinions in this video with a grain of salt because you might end up loving the books I DNF'd and hating Lucy Undying, but I'm just here to give you my opinions on new release vampire books. Hopefully this video is not too boring considering I DNF'd most of the books in this video, but I have work tonight from 6 p.m. to 4 a.m. Yes, I might perish. This might be the last video you see from me because I might die of sleep deprivation. So we'll see what happens. But I guess we're gonna end this video on the sad DNF note. But that is it for this video. If you have made it this far, of course, go ahead and leave the vampire emoji. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching. As always, all my social media links will be down below, and I will see you next time. Bye.